Welcome to Nostalgy. We are your hosts. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Jessica.
Did you think I wasn't going to say my name?
Yeah, I was waiting. A very long pause.
I know. I don't know why. I was being dramatic today. Go figure.
Drama.
Today, we're going to talk about something super cool. Relocations.
I don't think it's super cool, but I kind of hate it a lot.
Same here for different reasons. Yeah. Absolutely. But we can get into that. So let's just kind of kick it off and see where it goes. So Jessica, what is a corporate relocation like when you are moving?
So corporate relocation is different than just it's not always, if you're moving for a job, it doesn't always fall under what we're talking about today. Because sure, you can move to another state to take a new job. Corporate relocation is when your company is actually involved in the move. They are helping to pay for the move. So they have a hand in it, and they usually use a third-party service to help facilitate the move.
Well, okay then. So what is, sorry, I'm a little distracted at the moment.
Checking your emails.
My phone was going off. My watch was going off. My apologies. Okay.
Fires to put out everywhere.
Right. That's the mortgage world. That's just what
that's been March. March has been crazy.
March has been a crazy month. Yes, it has been. Okay, so back to relocations. So what's typically included in a relocation?
So very often it will vary with what your offer is and what your company has to offer for you. But you can have things like your moving expenses. You can have that paid for where the movers will come to your house. They may pack for you. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. The actual physical moving of your stuff. It may include temporary housing while you find your permanent home, especially if you have to be somewhere very quickly. I have seen people who have to move and they have like a week's notice before they have to be in a new city or state. So they may offer housing.
1 week?
I have had it happen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's insane. Who is that fast?
People without children.
Oh, yeah. Or pets.
Sometimes they will cover house hunting trips. So they'll pay for your airfare or gas, the travel to get to the city to look for houses. Very often though, I see that they only pay for 1 or maybe 2 trips. So clients that I work with that are having to find a house very quickly, they tell me we have to find a house. We have to be under contract before we leave because we're not getting another flight covered. And if you're moving from California or Maine, I mean, you have to fly. You can't drive, and airfare is not cheap.
No, it's not. Wow.
So, cost of living adjustments sometimes might be included. Help with buying and selling, and we're going to talk a little bit into that because that's our area of expertise here. Yes. Sometimes they'll help with spouse or partner's job, like job assistance, helping them to find a new job. Storage fees can sometimes be included. So those are kind of some of the normal ones. But again, it varies widely depending on what your offer is.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I know you and I we work on the side of the transaction that it's not always smooth or fun with how these things work. So how does it work?
So on the real estate side, that's going to be usually the most complicated part because if you're having to buy and sell a house, that's already a complicated process.
Sure.
So timing can be an issue, especially those, like I said, I've been there. I've had the call from someone who literally, they said, I have to be in Tennessee next week. We're rushing to pack right now. We need our house listed. So, I mean, there are sometimes that there's no time at all. We could barely get it on the market in a week, much less have it sold in a week.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Sometimes the relocation companies will offer a buyout. This is getting to be, I'm seeing less of this now, especially I think since the pandemic where people started working remotely. I am not seeing the best relo packages being offered anymore. There are still some. I'm working one right now where they're getting amazing incentives. But in some cases, they're not doing that buyout. And what the buyout is, it helps you with transition. They will give you a guaranteed offer price. You'll put the house on the market. If it doesn't sell within a certain period of time, that relocation company will purchase the home from you and they will be the owner so that you can move on and purchase the new house. So that's what a buyout is.
We like that on the mortgage side because then we don't have that lingering out there. And typically they need the funds from that, right?
Yes.
To buy another house in their new place.
Well, and sometimes they will help with kind of like a bridge loan type thing where they buy the house for them first. Or like I said, I've seen a lot of different ways that it's structured, but I've seen where they help them so they actually can cover them for the extra mortgage for a couple of months. So again, that's on really good packages where I see those things offered. And then there's also the coordination with this relocation company. So everyone has to go through that provider. So it is adding another layer of things that you have to do. And that's more for us to deal with.
I was going to say that is, a little more involvement. And that's what makes it a little bit more complex on both of our sides of the transaction.
Yeah.
Because you do have that other person. And I don't know about you, but they're not the most responsive.
No, not at all.
They don't have the same sense of urgency.
They do not
have. And so that has been some of the biggest headaches.
Yeah. Well, they only will work like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They're not going to answer you on weekends. They can be a pain to deal with. They don't really seem to care. There's also the aspect of time zones, because I've seen people who their representative is on the East Coast and at 4:01, they're trying to get a hold of them, but they're already gone for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a little bit of a headache. And how the process will work, like if you're accepting an offer on your house, say we get an offer and you love the offer, you want to accept it. Well, it has to be signed by the relocation company, and that can take a few days. Sometimes buyers get tired of waiting. They don't want to have to deal with these extra steps. And so it causes a little bit of extra stress for everyone. So you will have to deal with this company throughout everything. There's extra paperwork for me. Now that doesn't affect you as a buyer or seller, but yeah, part of how that we pay I'm going to just make up a name, ABC, Relo, because I don't want to call out any names here. They will charge us as the agents a fee.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they get paid. So they charge us a fee to do it, but then they give us more work to do. So we get to do these like 10-page reports on the property and teach them all the things. So I get to pay for extra work. It's fun. So fun. It's so fun. I love it. I love giving away money.
Love that.
Yes, please let me pay you for me to do more work. Awesome. That's why it's not a huge part of my business. I don't love doing relo. I will for the people I love. So
absolutely.
Yes, I will take it on.
We both do.
We do.
It's like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. But we do have to have a little caveat in the very beginning of like, okay, just so you know, it might be a little frustrating because they're not super responsive and
everything's going to take forever.
Yeah,
so
it does. It takes a lot longer because we had one that was kind of crazy.
When we were on our cruise, we were still trying to deal with it. But yeah, that's a big thing. Have an experienced agent who does know how to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
And just prepare everyone up front. If you have buyers who come in, they're like, yay, we can close in 2 weeks. You have to say, I'm sorry, that is not going to happen because there's no way we can get through all of the relo stuff. So just have to prepare yourself with more time. It
was like this last one that was kind of chaotic at the end.
Yeah.
I was good to go. On the lending side, everything was good to go.
The lender was good to go. The sellers were good to go. They had already moved out. The buyers were ready to go. We just had to have the relocation company sign some documents, and it just took forever. So
all I had to do was sign.
But they didn't.
Yeah. So just have a good team, basically. And then have a little bit more patience and realize that
nothing's going to happen fast.
It's not going to be fast. And then you'll be fine.
Yeah. As a buyer, some of the things to know about as a buyer. So on the flip side, we've talked a lot about, if you're selling, but if you're trying to buy a house through relo, one of the other struggles there is getting to know a new area. So, if you're looking for an agent there, is this someone who's good with technology to do virtual showings with you? Because again, you may only get one trip out there or have to make a decision sight unseen. Yes. Figure out, get to know the area really well. So that way you make the most of the time when you are going to look at houses. So, if you have a trip plan and you're only going to be there for 3 days, you don't want to go look at 20 houses that really don't work for you. So get as in-depth as possible. I like Google Maps, Google Earth for looking at neighborhoods. If you see that a house backs up to a freeway and that's not for you, you've just saved yourself 30 minutes touring that house.
Absolutely.
And move on to something else. If, again, good agent, if they know you're on a limited window, they can go preview the homes the week leading up to you seeing the homes and help to eliminate some. They get into one and they're like, this one smells so bad like dog. It needs a lot of work. We can eliminate it. And, looking into other things too. So like as agents, we can't talk about safety. We can't say a neighborhood is safe. We are not allowed to speak to safety aspects.
Oh, wow.
So look at police records. You can search police records for any city and zone in on particular neighborhoods. So if that's a concern, do that. When you're looking at houses, don't just look at the houses, look at a community. So what's important to you in a neighborhood? Do you go get your coffee every morning? Do you go to the gym? Find those things that are nearby. So if there's a particular neighborhood you're looking at, find the closest gas station. That's where you're going to likely get gas all the time. So go there. If it's a boarded up, sketchy place and you're like, I'm scared to get out of my car, that's a problem because this is part of your community. So hitting those places, check out the local gyms. Like I said, anything that's going to be a regular place for you to go.
Very smart. I like that.
Yep. What do you got? What question?
Well, no. I was just going to ask you. So then, we've kind of talked through some of these things, but like, do you have some tips for people that are going through a relocation?
The first thing is fully understand your offer. What are the terms of your relocation package? Because this I have seen very widely. Like I said, the offers, some of them now are not that great. And I mean, if your company is offering to help pay for some of your move, that's wonderful. Thank you. Yes. Appreciate whatever you're going to give to me. So it's not really something you want to like turn your nose up at, but you don't want to make these decisions assuming that your relocation is going to look like someone else's. You may have had a friend who went through a relo and you heard that they bought their house for them. They paid all their closing costs. I had someone who thought that's what he was getting. He had even heard, I think people in his own company had some great packages in the past. When they relocated him, he got $4,000.
Oh my gosh.
And it was $4,000 towards his moving expenses on the buying side. They didn't help him anything on the sell side. So there was no, we're going to buy your house from you. We're going to pay your closing costs. There was $4,000 towards the moving expenses.
Oh, wow. So really check it out.
So check it out, understand it, because, you need to know what the expenses are. Because when we sat down and we went through the fees, he's like, oh, no, my company is going to cover all that. No, they didn't. They didn't cover any of it. So it was, maybe he wouldn't have even taken that job if he had known that tens of thousands of dollars in a move were coming out of his pocket.
Wow.
And then some of the details of what you may get, like one I'm working on right now, they will do a move for them. They'll pack and move them, but they will only move them from one location. So as we're getting their house staged, we talked about having a storage unit to put extra furniture in.
Oh.
Well, but what they would have to do is they'd have to move it all or pay for a mover to move it to storage, then move it back from storage to the house. Oh, so instead, they're going to rent a pod or put stuff in their garage. The pod would be on the property so they can have the movers just go to one location. So if you understand those things, then you can strategize a little bit better on how you're going to coordinate all of this. Also, another tip, check to see if you're allowed to use your own providers. This is a big one.
Yes.
So these relocation companies,
providers,
everything, lender, real estate agent, movers, anything involved, they are going to give you a list and they're going to say, here are the agents you can use. That is not true. The reason that they give you those lists is because, say we're talking ABC Relo, they have a deal with ABC Real Estate Company, and they have agreed to pay those fees that I talked about earlier. That's why they already have that agreement. So that's why they're telling you to go to this agent. May not be the best agent for you, may not be someone you would have worked with, but they make it feel like those are your only three options, the three agents that they send to you. As long as the agent that you want to work with is willing to pay their fees and sign their agreement, you can use whatever agent you want.
Good to know. Yeah.
So now if you're only getting, I've seen this, if you're only getting a couple $1,000s and there's not a lot of benefit, talk to your agent and, the providers that you want to work with, find out what the penalties are by not using a preferred provider, because sometimes there are penalties involved, but it may be worth it if it's a company that you trust. If you're going to be penalized $200, but the movers are ones you trust and that's more important to you, you may opt to go that route. So be your own advocate. Don't assume you have to just use the people that they say.
Very good to know. And same with the lender, right?
Same with the lender. Find out those details. Can I hire my own? And what happens if I don't use yours? So those are the two questions to phrase that. And then talk to, if you have a great friend, family member, an agent you've worked with for many transactions, tell them, say, hey, listen, I'm doing relo. Is this something you're willing to work with? And if they love you enough, they'll say yes.
Yes, they will. It's always great to work with great people. Absolutely.
Like I said, I did kind of touch on this. Yeah, just research the area ahead of time. Keep receipts for any of your reimbursements. If you're getting reimbursed for travel and things, make sure you're keeping all those receipts. Start decluttering and getting organized early. This is a chaotic process and there's a lot going on. So getting organized and packing early. I have some great packers too. So if you need packers to help you get organized, because a long distance move is different.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You can't just run back and forth and take things over. Like, we're going to pop by the house tomorrow and take over this box. everything has to go at once. So
good. That's good information.
Well, thank you. I hope that helps. Yeah, just lots of communication, understand the agreement. So that's my biggest takeaway.
That's perfect.
Well, I guess we also have some news to share about. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
We're going to go to every other week.
Yep. For our podcast, instead of being once a week, we're going to be going to every other week.
I know y'all are so sad about this, but this is a positive thing, okay? It's a positive thing for us.
Positive for us, yes. Maybe not for you, but no. We've just gotten super busy. When we started the podcast last year, the market was very slow.
Yes. So we had a lot more time to devote, and now we're like, oh my goodness, like we still love this and want to be doing this, but we just can't have that big chunk of time.
We have been very busy and stressed. Yeah, and so, exactly. It'll make it a little bit easier on us as we manage the busy season, and hopefully this is good things for all of our clients. I know.
Well, so hopefully everybody's okay with that.
Yes. Well, it is. Too bad you're going to have to take it.
Okay, this is what we have to do because we're busy. And you know what? We're taking care of you. We're taking care of our clients. And that's why that comes first.
It does. All right. Well, be sure to follow us on social media, and that's going to be Nestology Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, or email us at nestologypodcast@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, where we hope you make the best of your nest.
Bye.
Bye.